guys, it's me, Ace Micheals, and it's the show Biography. My guest has been with me before, but we're so happy to have her back. And after this pandemic, don't you always feel like it's good when you run into somebody and you go, oh, thank gosh you made it. Good to see you, you know? So we always want to give each other pats on the backs and just be, very happy when we see our people. So today, KRYSTA LEE is back with me. KRYSTA, how you doing?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much, Ace. It's so nice to be back, and I'm so happy to see you smiling and doing well. This is awesome.
Well, congratulations on everything that you've done since we spoke. You were actually one of the first people that I did. This was back when we did the radio show, the phone only interview shows on Blog Talk Radio. So you were actually one of the first people. So we're literally talking about 8 years ago, or a few. It might have been 5 years. It could have been 25 years. Who knows? It was a long time ago. Okay. The point is we were younger then, and we're not so young now. That's the point. So last time I talked to you, you were doing country music, which I thought was interesting. But because of you, see, now all these girls are doing country music.
Yeah.
You ain't the only one doing country music now. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I love it. I think it's so amazing. I love collaborating too. And there's so many incredible female country artists out there. And it's like the world has opened up for them, because like back in the day, it was mostly male dominated, and with the odd exception, of course, but now there's so many wonderful female country singers, and I'm just so happy about it.
I have a philosophy on that, if I may share. If I may I? So I have a philosophy on that, country music for a long time was about, she left him, his truck didn't work, his dog was the only thing that was loyal to him, and so he was just stuck there with the bottle. And I think that's why so many guys were prominent in country music, because it was about guy problems. Then these girls came along and they were like, you cheated on me, I kicked you out, I broke your truck, and I'm keeping your dog. And so then it changed. The whole scene of country music is now all these girls with like the revenge songs on these guys. But but country music is an interesting format. Why did you choose country when it could also be so easy for you to maybe do R&B or rock and roll or hip hop, jazz?
It's a great question. No, I was always like more drawn to R&B before country music, but it's funny because my grandfather used to listen to country music growing up, and I actually really didn't enjoy it at the time. But then when I met my husband, like my future husband at the time, he was so into country music, and I was like, oh, okay, I started listening to it, and I thought to myself, man, like I grew up in the country. I'm not a city girl by any means, and so much of it started to resonate with me. I guess just more pop country. And then I have to say, it chose me. Like I didn't go out looking for it. It was there the whole time. But then something just kind of like sparked within me, and it kind of took over. And so my songs took a bit of a spin. But of course, I always have that R&B feel in there, the pop vibe as well. Try to make it my own as best as possible, with still honoring the country roots and everything. So it's definitely a huge love of mine now.
Now, do you have a smart TV, KRYSTA?
I don't. No, I actually don't watch TV. I don't.
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We have your resume. We'll be in touch. No, so I purchased recently what they call a smart TV. I don't know that it's any smarter than anyone else's. It might be moderately smart, but anyway, it didn't come with any like diploma or paperwork, but they call it a smart TV. And so on my smart TV, there was a show option called Vivo Country Girls.
Oh.
Right? And I was like, okay, I'm a guy. What's Vivo Country Girl? I'll check that out,
Yeah.
So I went to it, and it was literally like 24 hours of music videos, just all country singing girls.
Wow.
And what was really impressive about it was, I guess, in country music, because like I said, the TV is smart. I'm not. I guess in country music, they don't care if you're overweight. They don't care if you're a little, how could we put it? I'm going to say pleasantly plump, some of these girls were. And it made me think about, because I was watching the videos and I was like, I've never actually seen videos like this. This is like a music video with very good production value, but this is like a girl that looks like a regular girl I might see at regular Starbucks or something, not a Hollywood style music video girl. So I guess my first real question on this interview is, what are your thoughts about the music industry kind of turning into, I mean, you see all these girls now that are, they're beautiful, they're still beautiful, that will say that they still have to be beautiful, but there seems to be a different kind of bar set for body consciousness and tattoos and piercings, and so what are your thoughts on that?
I love it. I think it's amazing because like the whole point in for me at least making music is to be able to connect with other people. And I believe that happens through being relatable. And there's so many girl next doors that have talent and I think it's wonderful. Like why not put it on the screen? Like that's those are real people and this is the real world. And I think it's so amazing because country doesn't see size, it just sees the heart and it sees the story and it has so much value and goes beyond the exterior. And we could never judge a book by its cover because country, it goes across so many different people and places. And I think it's so awesome to see because it makes me feel like they're being just really authentic and genuine and honest and not trying to change anyone. And I think that's just super honorable.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I think there was a time that I was told, I lived in Hollywood for a while, and I think there was a time I was told you're either too black or you're not black enough or you're this. I might have imagined it, but I think I was told that. And now you see so many cross pollinizations of gender, sexuality, sensuality. Everything is more of a collective pot of, well, what do you want? Who are you and what do you have to say? And I think that that's good that people are getting that opportunity. There's more women directing films. There's more younger people directing films, which makes a difference because, if all of the creative projects are people in their 60s doing them, that's not really representing what we all think, and speaking of what we
Totally.
all think, so now the last time I spoke with you, I'm going by memory, I don't have any notes in front of me, but I believe that you're from Canada, right? Are you in Canada?
I
Connecticut?
am. Yes, I'm in Ontario, Canada, just
You're
outside
in
of
Ontario.
Toronto.
Okay, so in Canada, it's a different kind of an entertainment scene also from America. I think we're more into guns, boobs, explosions. I think that pretty much sums up what we like to see and hear about in our country. But Canada does seem a little bit more artistic. Would you agree with that? Is that the case?
You know what? I do think that Canada is a really, really amazing place for like this blending pot of all different arts and everything, all different people, all different backgrounds and races and everything. And I definitely see that, especially in the city. Like you can meet someone from any part of the world. It's amazing. Like it's a beautiful mosaic of humans and all different ages and stages of life as well. And I think it's so great. It's definitely something I really, really love about Canada and America too. Like I love America. I wish I could be there right now with you guys. It's so great.
Do you ever feel like you might or could be more successful in a different place? Like I always think as a black artist, if I went to London, for example, I think my career would have taken off more because there are so many black artists in America doing R&B and soul. It's really
Mhm.
hard to break out.
Yeah, I do agree. I think a lot of actually my friends in the industry, they end up going down to Nashville because Tennessee, like there's just a huge music scene there, is especially for country artists and LA as well, Hollywood and all that. It's funny because like I think my career would have taken a much different turn had I gone to the stateside. But I also do love being a big fish in a small pond. So like there's not a lot of us here. So for me, I do enjoy that side of it.
Mhm.
But definitely, I think careers change when the artist does decide to pursue like different locations for sure.
Yeah, and I would hate to see, unfortunately, what I think could have happened with you in our industry in America. I'd hate to see you doing songs about big old butts and cars and money, money, money. Like we do have a tendency towards that in America. Like American entertainment is pretty what's the word I'm looking, pretty shallow sometimes, you know.
Mm.
But there are, you know, there are great artists in America, obviously. I mean, we're not completely out of the loop. What do you think about this tend towards right now? We're in this crazy political climate, crazy gas prices, crazy wars going on. Do you feel like this is a part of a renaissance for artists? Like, is this the time now to start writing those 60s type of songs and building movements around our art, so to speak?
Big time. And that's what I'm seeing, absolutely, because like we're all feeling it. The same thing's happening here in Canada too. Um, and I think so many artists are turning inward because of it. And there's been so many that have come forward in the last couple of years with so many amazing messages because of everything that's been going on. And so I'm definitely seeing a rise, especially in indie artists, people that don't want to sign on labels. They just want to like do the thing on their own, and they're getting millions of views and just super successful, just like rocket ship launching, doing so well. And I think it is some sort of a revolution that's happening in the music industry, and especially now that things are kind of opening back up again, people are like biting at the bit to, they want more, they want the entertainment, they want the music, they want all the feelings, they want to connect. So it's definitely on for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think it's definitely a more mature buyer's market. Like, I think that the average person going to the cinema, for example, is looking for a deeper backstory in Batman, you know, or whatever, Spider-Man. They want to know a little bit more than we used to. We used to just be satisfied with the cowboys rode the horses, the Indians rode the other horses, the cowboys shot the Indians shot back. Great movie. But now we're in a different thing. What do you think, Krista, is your own personal legacy as far as your career? Do you feel what has been the most challenging thing for you? And what has been the thing that you've been most successful at, in your opinion?
This is a really great question, Ace.
Well, that's what I do.
You're wonderful. Thank you. I think the most challenging thing for me is, for me professionally, music wise, is definitely getting my songs to sound the way they do through the radio as they are in my head. So as a musician, I compose it all in my mind, but I'm not that great with writing notes. I never learned how to read notes or anything like that. I play by ear, and so that's challenging for me to try and convey what I'm wanting it to sound like with like engineers that I'm working with or musicians and whatnot. That can be really tricky. But most of the time, it ends up coming out just the same, or if not better. So that's a blessing. And I think the most successful thing for me career-wise is that I've stayed true to myself, because there's been so many times where people have tried to interject and mold me and shape me and change me, and that's what the industry does, and I get it. And just like you, like I've been to this and to that and not enough this and not enough that, and it really developed thick skin within me. And so I think that's the most successful thing, is that I've stayed true to who I am, and I haven't changed unless if I've evolved personally on my own accord, but not because of somebody else. And I think that's really important for everyone to do, really.
Yeah, I think that's super important because when you're doing a project, you know, let's say you're Steven Spielberg and you've got an idea and you put the team together, but you still have to supervise the team. And, you know, a lot of artists, this is my assumption. I don't know what a lot of artists go through. Okay. I just presume that a lot of artists, they get with the producer and they're intimidated. They're in a big studio with 55 billion track mixing board and all of the cool accoutrement that comes with that. And then pretty soon they're not doing what they really felt in their heart, you know,
Hmm.
because the collaborative effort can be difficult when you're working with other people. If you don't play guitar, it's hard to explain to somebody that it should go a little more like poing, 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 you know, and
Yeah.
it's a difficult thing. But given that you have done this for so long, you get a chance on this show today to sit down with one of your idols. What do you want to say to them? What do you want to ask them? What could you glean from their experience? And who is this Who is this legend that you get to sit down with?
Oh, okay. Immediately, Michael Jackson. He
Oh yeah,
was,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely,
right?
definitely, right. Of
Oh,
course, of
the
course.
ultimate, the ultimate. I grew up listening to Michael. I had his all of his records, his tapes, all the things, and he was the most incredible musician in my mind. And I would say to him, thank you, because his music saved my soul over and over and over again, got me through so many hard times in my life, and really brought so many people together. Like I remember, like as a kid, even just talking about Michael Jackson to new people, and they would be like, "You like Michael too?" I'm like, "Yeah," like besties. And so, like his magic,
That's it. That's all it took. Right. I got you.
right?
You're like,
Yeah, and
bro.
yes,
Yeah.
we're like this for life. Like I got you. You get it. Yes, let's go. And that's what music does. And for me, Michael, like he was the epitome of an iconic artist. Like he sang and he danced and he wrote and he felt and he shared. And that's like the most that we could ever imagine to do, like as far as leaving a legacy goes. And I'll never forget the day that I found out that he had passed on. I cried for like 3 days straight. It was awful. It was so terrible. And I still mourn it sometimes. It's really strange actually, because I never met him, didn't know him, he didn't know me. But I did have the chance one time to work with a producer that worked with him on a record. And that was just like amazing for me. That was probably about 8 years ago now. And his name's Roy Hamilton Jr., Roy Hamilton III, and he was incredible. And I was like picking his brain about Michael Jackson and all the things, and he just had so many amazing things to say about him. And it's just he would be my ultimate idol for sure.
I think it was just incredible that his ambition, okay, the things he accomplished are, that's the stuff of legend, but just the ambition. I mean, how many artists sit down and would think heal the world, for example?
Mm.
Heal the world? Like, bro,
Oh,
that's so ambitious. Like, what artist since Michael Jackson or before Michael, even Mozart, Beethoven didn't try heal the world. I mean, that's a pretty major accomplishment, heal the
yeah,
world, And so when you hear songs like that, you think, gosh, only Michael Jackson would have thought that the world could be healed by the power of his music. But
yes. Oh,
he was right. The world could be healed by the power of music, and everybody could love each other. And okay, so let's say that Michael's still with us, and you have the opportunity to work with Michael on a professional level. You are going to do a show together. What kind of things would you ask of Michael to respect for you as an artist? What do you want Michael to bring to the table for your collaboration with Michael Jackson?
just heart. That's it. Heart and soul. Because I feel like there's nothing like for me as a performer, that's all I put out there and that's all I expect in return, like for people that I work with. So for him, like yeah, I would say just all of your heart and all of your soul. And I wouldn't even doubt that he would. I feel like I wouldn't even have to say it to him. I feel like he would just know. Like he
Mm,
seems to be that type of an artist that just really gets it, you
yeah.
know?
Wouldn't it be hard to produce Michael Jackson? Like, can you imagine being the producer and sitting behind the board and Michael's in there singing, and you got to explain to him how to do it a little bit different? How would you even do that? Like, because Michael Jackson, he's gonna be like, okay, I've done this before. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Mike, I got you. So here's an ugly part of the thing. So in the time that we've spoken since the last interview, the world has changed quite a bit. And that's weird to say, but it's true. The world has actually changed. We've lived through a pandemic. We're going through a war right now. We've had lots of scandals. Some of our big favorite celebrities are now criminals that we know. Um, so I always like to ask people the question, if you did have the opportunity to work with Michael Jackson, Woody Allen, Bill Cosby, and you know their history, or you know the litany of things that have been charged and things that have been said, would that affect your judgment? Would you still work with Michael Jackson today?
I would, only to be able to talk with him myself, because it's so tricky these days. I feel like especially when there's someone with such fame, they get put up on a pedestal. It's like somebody wants to tear them down. And so it's really hard to tell if a lot of these things actually happened or not. Like, and I don't know, I really truly believe that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And for me, I'm a huge reader of energy. So I would have to still meet with the person, like, hear what I hear, whatever comes across my table, sure. But for me, I like to have that one-on-one communication and just be in the person's like energy space, and then decide from there, because rumors can be spread all the time, and there's always someone that's trying to take away from others, and there's some really crazy stuff that happens in the world, and it does happen, but I would definitely want to feel for myself. I'm an empath, so I pick up on energy big time, on how people are feeling and doing, and if they're being really authentic or not and whatnot. So definitely I would still give the chance. I'm a big chance giver for sure.
And being that you're so empathic, that's right, right? Yeah.
Empathetic, yeah.
Empathetic. That's how I'm supposed to say it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not a smart TV. Um, is there a
You're
place,
awesome.
Krista, where you say this doesn't belong in my music? Because I mean, you feel everything, you see things around you, things are going on. We're still in the coronavirus, even though we don't have to wear our masks, we're still going through it. You know what I mean? Is
Mhm.
there a place where Krista says, you know what? I'm passionate about this, but it doesn't belong in my song. There's a place in Krista Lee's music world where the rest of this world stuff doesn't go.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had to do that before, with producers and musicians and things like that. And I truly believe that we can say whatever we want to say, is just how do we say it? We have to be very mindful and conscious of our tone and our vibe. And so I'm a big believer in self-advocacy, and the old me was a big people pleaser and would just kind of just be like, okay, okay, and not really like speak my truth. But now I've come into my own a lot more, and I understand that if I don't speak up, and if I don't say, oh, that's not just right, or tweak like this please, or whatever it is, then I'll regret it later, and I don't want to do that, especially when it comes to music, because it's not free to do, unless if you're working with a friend maybe. But when you're paying big bucks and producing big songs, time is money, and you don't want to waste it, and you don't want to come out of the studio with a product that you're not absolutely head over heels for. That's how I view it anyway.
Yeah, and that's the best way to feel about it. Time is never our friend on our show. We've actually run out of time. I got time for maybe one more question. And that
Okay.
question, I'm going to try to make it as deep as possible, which
Mm.
is to say, okay, so you've had this wonderful career, you've lived your life as an adult now. What would you say to you as a young artist, a teenager, a beginner in the business? What advice, what caveat, what would you say? What would you warn yourself not to do even?
Mm. I would say always keep going. Don't stop, never give up. Keep trying, keep growing, keep learning, keep striving, keep thriving. You've got this. Believe in yourself. You can do this. The sky is limitless. Trust yourself. You deserve it. Absolutely.
And amen on that. There it is. That is the show today. It's Krista Lee. How do we find you on the social media? We want to pleasantly stalk you now.
Oh, thank you. I would love to be pleasantly stalked. I love connecting with new people and new friends all the time. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the things, YouTube. All of the links to find me are on my website at KRYSTA LEE.com. So it's KRYSTA Lee.com.
And that is what's up. Krista Lee, thank you for doing the show. Thank you for being a part of whatever we're doing here. And I'm really happy to be a part of everything you're doing over there in Toronto. And I hope to hear and see you real again soon. Hey guys, if you see somebody doing something positive, please support that. You never know what a person's going through. And if somebody's trying their best, you got to help that. And you know what I say at the end of every show? I always mean it. Live the life you love. Love the life you live. Thank you.